Hi, friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to Therapeutic Wisdom from the AKASH. If you have not been on Awoken TV before, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is such a beautiful community. It's a beautiful community of conscious filmmakers and light workers and heart centered humans who are here to raise the vibration of the planet. You can access Awoken TV on www.awoken.tv or through the App Store, and you can find films and other shows and courses and all sorts of goodness. So, I'm going to take a moment to share this out to anyone who would like to listen to some wisdom from the Akash regarding perfectionism. So definitely say hello if you're tuning in here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. My name is Laura Mazzotta, and I am the Akashic Therapist. I'm a spiritual healer and teacher using the space of the Akashic Records to help people gain clarity and confidence and ease and joy and a return to themselves. I've also been a therapist for almost 20 years. Hi, Kaz. Thanks so much for saying hello. I appreciate you hopping on. And just so you guys know, if you are tuning in from the Akashic Academy or Emerge Healing and Wellness, you're going to want to jump over to the Awoken TV Facebook page to comment if you want me to answer your comments live. Otherwise, I'm happy to, especially if you tag me, I am happy to attend to them on the replay, okay? But I won't see comments live unless it's right here on Awoken TV. Okay, I'm good. I'll share out a little bit more later. Thank you. You're in the UK. Hi, Sonia. Thank you so much for being here. So good to see you guys. So, and I'm happy to know that the comments are working. They've been doing better lately, especially in this Mercury retrograde. So, I want to start today, before we talk about perfectionism, I want to start today with taking a few breaths in together and just centering ourselves. Do you guys see the snow? I'm in New York and it is snowing today. It's our first snow of the season. So you guys can join me in watching the flurrying goodness today. But let's just take a few breaths in because perfectionism is all about that push, 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 go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle energy, that divine masculine energy, right? And it's really important for us to really sink into our feminine energy, which is all about flow and ease and resting in ourselves. So, one of the best ways to activate this state is to calm our physical bodies because our physical bodies are here as a vessel and as a tool to assist us with moving through this life, but they can also interfere. So, it's good to help them relax, right? And to use these tools to assist us with relaxing to help our physical bodies with this job. So we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxation response. And it helps us with our heart rate and digestion and breathing and meaning having our breathing slow down and having our ability to oxygenate our blood go up when we are slowing down our breath, okay? So we're going to take in 5 really deep breaths together. 3 is the minimum, 7 is ideal, 5 is the average to activate the relaxation response. So let's just take a few moments here together and synchronize our breath. Closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and release anything that no longer serves you. Another deep breath in, all the way to the base of your spine. Tucking your tailbone and tucking your chin to really lengthen that spine and allow this channel for energy to be open and clear. Breath number 3, allowing your exhale to be longer than your inhale. Breath number 4, I want you to pause at the top and hold for 3 and then release longer on your exhale than your inhale. And on this final breath in, when you pause at the top, I want you to breathe in a little bit more after that so you fill to your fullest capacity and then release. And we're going to pause at the bottom of that breath for 3 as well. Okay, so I'll guide you through this. So another deep breath in. Expand your heart space in the front and the back. Pause at the top. Hold. Now breathe in a little bit more to fill to your fullest capacity and hold. And now release slowly. Longer exhale than your inhale. And we're going to pause at the bottom of that breath, holding for 3. And now you can breathe normally. So how's everybody feeling today? Let me know how you're doing. Let me know that if you have been experiencing and feeling some of this full moon energy. We have a full moon in Taurus that peaks tomorrow at around 11 a.m. Eastern. So it's a nice blue Halloween full moon. Let me know if you're feeling any of these energies. We can typically feel the full moon energies about 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after. I know I've been feeling it for sure. And I just enjoyed a blissful meditation for a good half an hour before I jumped on here. So I'm feeling really amazing. It's so amazing how much we can shift our vibration and our mood with just some breath work, with some meditation. I did some breath work with my students in one of my courses yesterday, and it made me feel amazing. This is a great tool for and a great concept to discuss around perfectionism, because this morning I woke up and my legs were throbbing in pain. Terrible, terrible pain. I have neuropathy. I've been doing so much better, but I woke up with terrible pain, and these things show up in our physical bodies to signal to us that we need to hear some kind of message that we haven't necessarily been paying attention to, or that we just haven't noticed. And so our physical bodies say to us, hello, you need to rest. You need to rest in your divine feminine, right? You need to connect back to your soul and to who you are. So I listened, and I laid down, and I did my meditations, and I took care of me. And I literally got up with absolutely no pain. It's unbelievable how much this work has impacted me. It took a while to build up, using meditative practices and breath practices. It took a while to build up to get the kind of relief I was looking for. But now it's immediate, because I'm so used to it and I'm so attuned to these higher frequencies that I don't have to go from this super low place of density where I was when I initially got sick all the way up to this super high frequency, right? I don't have as far to go because I've adjusted my frequency already. So now when I do a meditation, or I go into the Akashic records or do breath work, it turns it around right away. So it's so critical for everyone to get this message, to be consistent with your preventive practices, okay? That we don't just meditate for 30 minutes when we have leg pain. We don't wait until our body is screaming or our emotions are screaming to be able to give ourselves the kind of love and the kind of connection that we so desire, that we are looking for, the kind of intimacy that we need, that we often look for in other people, in society, in material items. And when we turn to ourselves for that, and we do that consistently without our emotions or our bodies screaming at us, we're giving ourselves the message that we're worthy. We're giving ourselves the message that we're deserving, that we're valuable, that we are important enough to set aside time to give this to without having to fix something. And that's a huge theme that comes up with perfectionism. This idea that you have to prove yourself, that you have to push through to prove that you're worthy to yourself and to other people. Because ultimately underneath perfectionism is I'm not good enough. And I need to accomplish X, Y, and Z in order to be good enough. I need to meet society's expectations or standards. I need to meet my family's expectations or standards, or my own expectations or standards, in order to be good enough. So it's so loving to be able to say, you know what, today I'm going to allow my body and my emotions to dictate what I do. I'm going to give myself a day, set it aside, take a day off, use a day on the weekend, whatever you want. Give yourself a day that from the time you wake up, you allow your guidance system, which is your emotions, your physical body, and your intuition, to guide you on what it is you eat for breakfast, whether you shower in the morning or at night, how much time you spend reading, how much time you spend resting, how much time you spend working, how much time you spend exercising. Just take a day, because when we actually step back and observe our behavior and observe ourselves, and just don't judge it, just observe it and get curious and say, oh, interesting. Okay, what is it that would serve you right now, whether it's your emotions or your physical body or what have you? And you listen, it would be very interesting to see how you feel by the end of that day. I guarantee you, you'll feel pretty fulfilled. Very fulfilled, not pretty fulfilled, very fulfilled. And then that gives you information, right? It gives you information because you then can say, all right, well, these are the practices that created a significant amount of change for me in my day, that made me feel a certain way. And then you can place that on your list of non-negotiables. You can place that on your list of, these are staples that when I put them into my day or when I put them into my life, are going to nourish and support me so that I can prevent the negative emotions. I can prevent the dis-ease. Another common theme that comes up with perfectionism is migraines, headaches. How many of you get headaches? Just going to check in on the comments here. Thanks for sharing, Kaz. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's so funny. Prickly and icy. Yeah. Because Uranus, hi Angie, good morning. Uranus is also in retrograde, and I believe it's direct to the moon right now, directly across or conjunct. I don't know I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know the exact terminology. And if you guys do, please let me know. But Uranus is all about kind of going against the grain, right? Being independent. It's that rebellious spirit part of us. So we can get a little bit of that rub right now. And a lot of old stuff can come up right now. My Chiron is actually in Taurus, which is a meteor or an asteroid. I'm sorry, it's an asteroid. And it's called the Wounded Healer, because what it does is it brings up those things that we need to heal, that like deep stuff, those wounds that we haven't resolved yet. And they're often carried on from childhood or even past lives or ancestral issues that haven't been resolved, that have been carried down to us energetically. And so the reason it's called the Wounded Healer is because it brings up the wounds, but it's not to torture us. It's because it wants us to have its attention so that we can move through it in a new way. We can integrate it in a new way. We can resolve it at a new layer, at a higher level, okay, which is beautiful. That's such a gift. So my Chiron is in Taurus, so I have been feeling this so deeply the past few days and just offering myself extra love and extra rest. And when we feel that energetically coming into our field before it presents as emotions, before it presents as physical discomfort, we can stay preventive, we can stay ahead of it, right, before it turns into something like that. So times like this, when we have full moon energy that can be really intense, and we just feel like, ooh, something feels kind of prickly, something feels kind of off, right? That we listen to that and we say, okay, when the energy presents itself, even if we don't have evidence to support why we feel that way or data to support that, it doesn't matter. Go with the energy, because that's how we are more loving for ourselves. Because when we are looking at perfectionism, it's all about, I need to prove that I have a right to say no to going to this party. I need to prove that I have a right to act in a certain way or to take time for myself. I need to justify it. Okay? You don't need to justify anything to anyone, right? If you follow the energy, you're actually allowing the universe to guide you. You're allowing spirit to guide you. And there is no better way when you're dealing with perfectionism and kicking perfectionism to move forward from it. Because you're surrendering. You're not gripping on really tightly and gaining control and saying, I have an agenda and by damn, I'm going to meet that agenda. You're allowing the universe to guide you and say, what is palpable in your energy field right now? What is ripe for you turning into the next level of yourself, the next version of yourself? And you allow your intuition to pick. You allow the universe to pick. You allow spirit to pick. Hi, Christy. Hi, Sonia. Headaches, yes, exactly. So headaches are so common because one of the I think this is from Louise Hay's book, the affirmation that is most effective for healing migraine headaches and identifying what the limiting beliefs are underneath it. It's, I relax into the flow of life and allow life to provide all that I need easily and compassionately, right? I relax into the flow of life. It's really surrendering to that divine feminine flow, not getting stuck too much in the masculine, which, you know, masculine energy gets a bad rap because masculine energy is also very supportive. Having a balance of the two, the yin and the yang, is really key to our own growth and our own harmony and balance. That's why breath work is so effective, because we have the ability to bring in the flow of life, but in the structure of our physical body, right? The flow of the universe through the structure of our physical body, really identifying that we are vessels bringing forward this energy. So the masculine allows us to have a structure to be able to hold and bring forward some of this energy in a 3D human way, like into our world in a tangible way. And the divine feminine is really about that. It can feel very chaotic, which is why a lot of people shy away from divine feminine energy, because it feels like, oh, you're just that flaky, flighty, chaotic female, right? Instead, again, it brings us so much information and it allows us to relax into our flow. So it's being able to balance the two. And that's why if you pick a day and allow your intuition to guide you through that day, your physical body, your intuition, your energy, your emotions, just to guide you through that day, and then find structure after it's told you what it needs, right? So instead of saying, I have an egoic agenda that I'm going to focus on, I'm going to focus on this egoic agenda and I'm going to take X, Y, and Z steps to get there. Instead, you're saying, all right, I'm going to start my day with listening to the feminine flow. Hands, palms face up, right? As if you're in a receptive position. Just asking the universe to guide you for the day. Receiving the wisdom. Going downstairs, getting your drink, getting something to eat. Allowing your intuition to guide you as to what you want to eat, what feels good to your body that day. And then if it says, oh, well, today you really need to rest. Okay. Great. I'm going to listen to that. And then I'm going to take the masculine energy and bring that forward. And I'm going to say, all right, what structure can I put around this rest? How do I hold myself accountable so that I do follow through with this, so that I do listen and make sure that I am following divine guidance? So that's how you can find a balance here without getting stuck in the perfectionistic mindset. Okay? Receptivity is another big piece of divine feminine energy. Huge for perfectionism. That if we allow ourselves to receive, because a lot of times in perfectionism, there's this very OCD quality to it, right? It's very much like rigidity. If somebody interferes with my agenda or with what I have planned, I get pissy, right? That's what happens when you're in a perfectionistic mindset. I'm going to get pissy. So if you're relaxing and allowing the universe to dictate to you, and somebody comes along and offers you assistance, you're going to be more receptive. But if you are set on your agenda, this is my goal, and if you come in my way, no, I can't receive that right now, I got shit to do, right? That's going to cut off that flow for you. So that's the other piece with perfectionism. Open yourself to receiving. Allow yourself to receive. This is really important for enhancing your creative energy as well. Because we're allowing ourselves to belong. We're allowing ourselves to say, I am part of a collective. I am part of being collaborative with other people. We're all assisting one another. It's not just my agenda. And that sense of belonging, which is housed in our sacral chakra, right below our belly button, is also the space for passion and creativity. So when we receive and we allow this belonging, and we allow ourselves to feel how good it feels to allow somebody to help us. Hi, Laura, thanks for being here. We activate that sacral energy. And one of the number one things that people who are perfectionistic do not have, well, they have access to it, but do not access on a regular basis is passion. because they're too focused on holding it all together. And accessing their passion is going to make them feel chaotic and silly and embarrassed because they're not necessarily living up to that standard or that expectation that's been set for them by people in their lives, by the universe, I mean, not by the universe, by society, etc. Okay, so what brings you joy? There's a great exercise. There's this a journal, and I haven't worked through the whole thing, but it's by Amy Chase, and it's called Present Not Perfect. And there's a very brief, simple exercise in here, but I thought it was very effective. So they have this chart here that looks like a maze, a labyrinth, right? What are all of the things you're trying or tried to get done today? Write them all down. You see how they're all overlapping. Write down all the things that you need to get done. And then you, on this opposite page, you have this nice little circle where you just write down what tasks or accomplishments will leave you feeling the most fulfilled at the end of the day. So this is a good exercise. It's a good practice because what it does is it really allows you to say, it allows you to bring in that masculine structure of what am I prioritizing? But you're bringing in the structure around what brings you joy. So you're allowing the passion and that feminine energy to guide you first and foremost. So what are the things that bring you joy? Okay, you're getting everything off the top. You're saying, all right, where's my to-do list? All the things that are in my head. And then what's going to make me feel the most fulfilled? What's going to make me feel the most joy? And I would even argue to add to this or to adjust this exercise, not just what's going to make you most fulfilled, but because sometimes we feel fulfilled because we've accomplished something and checked something off our list, but not just, all right, once you've accomplished it, what's going to make you feel fulfilled, but also which of these things that I write down on this page are going to bring me joy in the process of doing them. Allow me to really sink into compassion and passion and creativity during the process of doing these. So it's not just looking at the final outcome, because that's a huge thing with perfectionism is attachment to outcome, right? We have a very clear idea of what it is, where it is we need to be, and what it is we need to go to. And then we get very attached to if that outcome comes to pass, then we define whether or not we're successful, right? This is a really good opportunity for you to redefine success for yourself. This was a huge piece for me. Hi, Mia. Thanks for being here. It's a huge piece for me when I was healing at the beginning. We're all healing all the time now, right? So let me just check into my notes here. Oh, yeah. So just with the success piece, before I go on, I want you to make a list of, I'm giving you guys lots of homework today, right? I want you to make a list or activities to do of all of the things that define success for you right now, based on how you're living your life, based on the choices you're making, the actions you're taking, where you're putting your time and energy. Because you can then evaluate which of these are mine and which of these are not mine, these standards of success. Are these standards of success that I want for myself? Like if you close your eyes and picture yourself, take a deep breath in to center your energy. Picture yourself 10 years in the future, living your best life. Feeling amazing. How do you feel? Do you feel free? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel accomplished? What does it feel like? Who's around you? What's the environment you're in? What do your day-to-day tasks look like? What does your schedule look like? Where are you putting your time and energy? And if you really feel into this, it helps you identify what your true definition of success is. Ideally activating that parasympathetic nervous system first, just like we did at the beginning of this video. So a nice 5 deep breaths, preferably 7 deep breaths, to make sure you're in that centered space, that you're removing some of the interference from the ego and from the outside world. And really envisioning not just what is it that I want and what is it that I envision going forward, but what is it that I envision and feel when I'm in that space that I want to be in 10 years? What does it feel like? And I guarantee you, so you're visualizing this 10 years in the future, it's going to come to you a lot sooner if you keep doing this. And that's the thing that is very hard to integrate when you have perfectionism, is this idea that you don't have to hustle to get what you want, that you can lean back into your divine feminine energy, connecting to that core version of yourself. And the more that we align energetically, the more that we're looking for comes to us. It's the law of attraction. So I don't know how many of you listen to Abraham Hicks or have read Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. It's a phenomenal book, so helpful with us remaining within our own alignment, within our own soul's purpose and journey, not getting distracted by everything everybody else is doing and all these expectations that are out there, right? Moving forward with our soul purpose and giving ourselves a reminder on a daily basis, several times a day, what our soul purpose is. And whether or not the decisions that we're making are moving us toward our soul purpose. Not our egoic agenda, not our parents' expectations, not societal expectations, but moving toward our soul's purpose. Is this helping me forward myself this way? Okay. So one of the ways that I encourage my clients to start this is to get away from black and white thinking, right? This idea that I either am phenomenal and perfect at something or I suck and I've failed, right? So your goal does not have to be 100%, right? In the clinical world, in the mental health world, coming from a clinical therapy perspective, we determine that maintenance of your mood, maintenance of your vibration is not 100% maintenance. It's like, here's 100% and then 25% this way and 25% this way, right? That's considered maintenance. When we work with patients who have eating disorders and we're looking at ideal weight, they don't do that anymore, which I'm glad, because I think it was not an appropriate way of approaching treatment for them, but I won't go off on that right now. Anyway, you would look at an ideal weight and we'd say, okay, well, you're considered to be maintaining when you're a few pounds before that and a few pounds after that. And when you waver between those, that's considered maintenance. So remember that, set yourself a range rather than getting so specific. That's one way to just a conscious piece that helps you to move away from, I need to be 100%, right? Well, shoot for that range between 75% and 125%. Make that your goal, because then you're stepping back a little bit. You're not so micro-focused, hyper-focused on the specific 100% number. Even if that hasn't come into your consciousness, it would be very helpful if you have perfectionistic or type A tendencies to say, this is a range, this is a spectrum. Right? And I'm allowing myself 75% to 125%, okay? And then I'm going to give you guys a few mantras. I'm sure a lot of you have heard progress, not perfection. I'm just going to type that in here for you. Right? That's a big one. A lot of my clients love that one. Progress, not perfection. Celebrate your progress. You want to kick this? Celebrate each little thing that is progress for you. This morning, when I had all these pains in my legs, I shifted right into gratitude. I shifted right into, oh my gosh, I am so thankful that I have access to these beautiful meditations. I am so thankful that I have access to tools that allow me to move through this on my own. I am so thankful that I have a warm home on this snowy day to keep my body comfortable, to keep me nourished, right? So it's gratitude. A lot of times my celebration includes gratitude, but it's also me celebrating what I'm thankful for. It's celebrating what is available to me. Am I perfect today? Nope. But did I make progress from this morning when my legs were throbbing? Yes. Is my leg pain completely gone? Right now, it started to creep back up a little bit. So guess what? After this, I'm going to do another nurturing practice for myself. So it's being able to say, I am celebrating that I've made some progress. Because when you celebrate making progress, you then feel more motivated to make more progress. So it's trusting that process and trusting that your energy will respond to that. Right? We want to motivate ourselves. And that's one of the greatest ways to motivate ourselves is to recognize and celebrate our progress so that we're like, oh, that worked. Okay, now I'm motivated to continue. Where actually procrastination and not finishing things is one of the biggest things that comes in with perfectionism. Because it's like, well, if I complete this, then I have to face the music of, did I complete it well enough for my standards or for other people's standards, right? I'm afraid of failing. So I really don't want to finish anything because if I do, then everybody's going to see that I'm not as good as I think I am or that I'm not as good as they thought I was. Right? So celebrating that progress. Okay. The other one I'm going to give you is less is more. This is one of my favorite ones. I've used this through much of my life. Less is more is so helpful for people who just drive through, right? That pushing through energy, that proving energy. I got to do it. I got to hustle. I got to get it done, right? People say to me all the time, oh my gosh, you're just going. You're just going. You're never stopping. So untrue. It comes across that way because people think that you can only achieve a certain amount of success by hustling. So they assume I'm hustling to get my success. And my success, defined, my friends, is freedom. To be able to work from home, to be with my kids, to have space to take care of my body if I need to during the day. To schedule my calendar out with the things that support and serve me before I open them for my clients. So less is more. When you hustle less, you're going to get more return on your energetic investment. Because when you enter anything with a desperate energy, it's going to come back to you in desperation. So be very cautious and aware of your vibe at which you're attending to reaching your goals. Yeah, Nia, I do the same thing sometimes and then I have to catch myself. That's the thing. It's not being hard on ourselves when we can't follow through on mantras like that. It's just being able to be aware. And the fact that you're aware of that is key because awareness is step one. It's huge. And then once you've gotten that down, it's being like, all right, maybe next time it's going to come. Actually, no, not maybe. Next time it's going to come sooner. Speak that into reality. Because I'm continuing to repeat this and I'm maintaining consistency with it, my mind and my body are starting to trust me. And they're trusting that I know that it's coming. Right? And it'll get better and better each time. Okay, let me just make sure there isn't anything else that I had to say here. Oh, there was just one other mantra that I wanted to share with you. Done is better than perfect. This was a big one for me. Because this relates exactly to the procrastination, right? So just get it done because think about how you're going to feel when it's done. And then that anxiety or that worry about it not being perfect is going to be temporary. It's going to fade because you're going to get distance from this thing that you've completed and it's not going to matter. You're not going to care. Like I tell people who write blogs or who go live or, do any of this entrepreneurial work online. Don't watch your videos over. Don't read that shit after you posted it. Just put it out there. Because guess what? If somebody is so eager to hear your message, they don't care if you spelled thank you wrong. They're thankful for the fact that they've taken one little nugget or something from that has helped them through their day. And we don't necessarily see these things or see this impact. But it's knowing that when you put it out there, the message itself and the energy of yours that's coming through it is being felt. So do it for other people if you're not going to do it for yourself, to move away from perfectionism. Because you holding back your gifts or your wisdom or whatever it is you want to share or put out there, there could be somebody who's waiting just for that message or just for that information today to help them through their day. Do them a favor and don't spend hours hemming and hawing over whether all of your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. Just put it out there. The energy will flow as it is meant to. Okay? So, you're welcome, Nia. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. I actually have a course that just started yesterday called Thrive. And it's about moving through any kind of chronic issues that are coming up for you. It could be physical healing, physical issues. It could be illness. It could be mental health issues or negativity or, say, perfectionism. Getting stuck in a chronic pattern. Chronic means 2 years or more for adults and 1 year or more for adolescents that you just can't get through. And it's being able to, we did the physical layer yesterday, started healing and releasing some of the density in the physical body and giving people tools on how to do that. And at the end, we're going to have a roadmap for how do you uniquely develop a protocol that you can implement consistently to prevent dis-ease from showing up. Emotional dis-ease, physical dis-ease, energetic dis-ease, whatever you want to call it. And there's several layers at which we need to do this work. So practice some of the things that I brought forward for you today. A lot of these are cognitive, but they're also energetic, especially if you stay consistent with them. For additional skills and support and really healing to be able to move through all of these layers, physical, emotional, cognitive, relational, behavioral, spiritual, energetic, you can still join us in Thrive over the next week. It's a small group. I don't want too many people joining it because we're bringing up intimate things, right? So there's only a couple slots left. So let me know. I know that the link is in the description of this live. Definitely, if you have questions on perfectionism or if there's areas where you're struggling, you can comment here, you can tag me, and I'm happy to respond, or you can reach out privately. All right? I hope everybody has an awesome, awesome weekend. A very happy Halloween for those who celebrate. And I'll see you guys next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Bye.